But let's switch to different companies at the moment. Let's go over to AEW Worlds End, which was hit a little bit by injury bug and
Brian not happy with
and
AEW
storyline booking.
Nah, man.
You guys see the headline there? Samoa Joe, the new AEW champion.
Okay.
And Adam Cole, after months of speculation, months of storytelling, face turn for MJF this whole past year, it was revealed that Adam Cole, off the crutches, was the devil. What do you guys have to say about that?
Okay. Okay. All right.
You want to go first, Brian?
I'm gonna go first. I'm gonna just characterize this whole show. So Daniel, you said you only watched a couple of clips of stuff. Lewis, you actually watched the entire show.
Yeah.
Okay, so in my humble opinion, from when Adam Copeland versus Christian, when that match started, from there to the end, the show was good. Everything that happened before was I was not a fan of it all. I mean, and we can break down. Some of these matches that happened before. The number one match that disappointed me the most was Swerve against Dustin Rhodes. So Keith Lee was medically unclear to compete. So Dustin Rhodes stepped up as his tag team partner. Now, to me, because Swerve has been so hot as a heel with his matches with Hangman Page and being in the Continental Classic, I felt like this match should have been a quick 3 minutes. He should have beat Dustin Rhodes real quick. Either that or take Dustin Rhodes out, and the matches are no contest. The fact that this was actually competitive, and we're supposed to be still taking Swerve seriously as moving up to that next level as a top heel, I thought was very, very disappointing, because with everybody hurt, Brian Danielson dealing with injuries. Kenny Omega is hurt. The Bucks have been out. Adam Cole is hurt. We haven't seen a lot of Hangman Page lately. Like all their top guys are either injured or taking time off. And Swerve has been the guy that's had stepped up the most with everybody hurt. So I would like to think that once Keith Lee went down, whoever you subbed in, Swerve should have ran through them real fast and just moved on. And because he's Dustin is his tag team partner, you could have told a great story with Swerve taking out Dustin Rhodes. Now it gives Keith Lee something even more to fight for, since they've been trying to have this feud for the longest time since Keith Lee got hurt. So I thought that was disappointing. The women's title match with Toni Storm and Riho.
It was a good match.
I mean, it was a good match. It was a good match, but I don't know what it is about Riho. I don't know if it's because of her presentation. Because
she didn't seem like a legit contender. I know what you mean. It was like
she's a former AEW Women's Champion, so I'm supposed to be taking her more seriously. And she was in stardom as a Japanese wrestler. But every time I see Riho, I don't know why my mind immediately compares her to Asuka, Io Sky, and Kairi Sane. And I look at Riho, I'm like, Riho, those three, and all three, I would think, because they were all in stardom and because female Japanese wrestlers are booked better in the U.S., that you're supposed to see her along the same level of those women. Look, that's just my opinion. That's the reason why I can't.
Yeah.
I think it just might be her presentation, because I get it. Like compared to like what she was wearing, like ring gear wise, like she was wearing like, I don't know. It's like I don't even remember what she was wearing, but it was just like, I think it was like almost like jean stuff,
some
and like
denim outfit,
denim. And I'm like, this doesn't really scream like I'm a competitor. And like you're in there with Toni Storm, who's like the hottest, female wrestler like in AEW, and it's like her presentation I thought was great. I think they had a good match, but I do get like maybe this should have been more. I don't know how many weeks of build up. I feel like there was only like 2 when she was announced as like the challenger, but like I get it. We also haven't seen her in a while, so it's like
so it came out of nowhere.
Yeah, it was just like, oh, here's another challenger, and it was just like
okay.
And they try to reference her like she was the first inaugural women's champion, and I feel like they tried to just kind of use that to give her more credit. But I get what you mean. I think just the presentation of her didn't make her such a like viable, person. So
right. And the 8-man tag that opened the show, the All-Star 8-man tag, That was another good match. But again, I mean, you literally took all these guys that caught L's in the Continental Classic and just put the baby faces on one side and the heels on the other side and said, "Hey, I'm on the card." And I mean, it was a good match, but like no story, no build, just throw them out there for the hell of it. And then the other 8-man tag became the story of Chris Jericho and the NDA. Yeah, so then that
maybe Chris Jericho should have stayed off.
Yeah, that whole thing with Chris Jericho was
one match that I was kind of disappointed at. That was going to be more hard hitting, I guess. It kind of started to pick up steam. Was the Miro Andrade match, and even that, just like. Mm-hmm. I get it. Andrade is on his way out, and hey, they let him wrestle. It wasn't like a squash match, or like they didn't.
That's the only reason why people cared about that match because of the reports that Andrade was leaving. Because
if nobody would have known, it might have been more like. But I didn't like this whole angle of CJ Perry coming back and like not being with Miro. Oh, I'm gonna go get a client.
Putting Miro against his wife. Stop.
It doesn't work.
Stop.
It doesn't work.
It really doesn't. I mean, we've been through this before,
just
but
put
they
them
work together. Like, but it looks like they're going in that direction now. I mean, like Lewis, like you said, the reason why that story failed is because actually CJ had a health episode when she had that infection in her finger that rolled up her arm, and then she was out for all those weeks, so they couldn't really like tell this whole story. And then on top of it, Andrade was leaving, so there pretty much was no story. No story. It pretty much ended up.
I guess we'll just put them together.
Just put them together and be like, Miro even said in the promo package, "I don't want to beat him up because my wife is managing him. I want to beat him up because he's full of shit." And it's just like, well, how did that become a part of the story? How's Andrade been full of shit just because he has your wife?
It's just like,
probably just because he knows him.
But it's just like AEW. It's like ever since All Out, AEW just hasn't been able to build momentum. People have been getting hurt. People are leaving. The storylines aren't able to continue because people are in and out. Like one thing after another.
It's just been bad luck. It's just been bad luck with them. That's all. I mean, they've hit the injury. The injury bug has hit them very bad. And then you got some other guys who have taken time off and. I remember one point in time.
Scandals.
Yeah, outside scandals. I mean, at one point in time, when during the pandemic, when WWE let go of all those guys and AEW signed them, everybody was looking at AEW as the superior brand as far as the talent roster went because they were so deep with some of these guys. And now, vice versa, years later, now WWE it seems like they're the company with the stacked roster now because you look at AEW and then it's just a bad patch. I mean, eventually when everybody gets healthy, you would hope that they turn it around, but they need. But I go back to the 8-man tag with Chris Jericho, Sammy Guevara, and Darby against the Darby and Sting. I guess the whole Don Callis family and Ricky Starks.
Sting deserves better.
Exactly, and I was going. That's exactly where I was going. The fact that 8-man tag ended up being Sting's last match in what was it? Where was the pay-per-view taking place?
In New York, in Long Island.
Yeah, so this is Sting's in Long Island. Yeah, so this is Sting's last match in New York, and I got overshadowed by a rumor about Chris Jericho, and.
I did like the whole I did like the Mox Eddie Kingston match. I thought that was well deserved.
Yeah, no, that was good. Yeah, that was a good.
It was a little. I guess this is opposite of WWE. Someone actually winning in their hometown.
Well, technically on the night, they won 50-50. They won 50-50 on the night.
Yeah, they did. But I'm a big Eddie Kingston fan. He's someone that like I think he's just one of those more authentic characters. Like he'll just, like I feel like when he'll cut people off and just starts talking like no, we're doing this or whatever. It's just like that's actually just him, you know. And I think that's what makes him just so popular. And the fact that I really thought he was like out of the. I was inconsistent watching the Continental Classic, but I caught a good amount of that. But then I was like, oh, this dude's losing these titles in this tournament, and then somehow managed to come back and make it to the finals. And I saw the match with him and Bryan Danielson, which was really good. Mm-hmm. And just like, I don't know, just like the emotions and all the feelings in it was just like made it like a really good thing. And then, to have that chance against him and Jon Moxley, I think was just like, that was, to me, was like a good story,
Mm-hmm.
Because especially after, like, when Eddie Kingston just looks like he always comes up short in those type of matchups. Like he's always just getting somebody over. He always looked like he was kind of like the Dolph Ziggler of AEW a little bit. Like he'll get wins here and there. He'll get a mid-card title, and he'll just put all these other guys over. But it finally looked like through this Continental Classic, I don't know if injury played a part or whatever, the match with Daniel Bryanson was awesome. And then he goes up against Jon Moxley, and it's like the history they have and all that, especially with the death match and all that, going all the way back to that, to see him progress to that and finally get like to the mountaintop in some regard, it's like that's awesome to see for Eddie Kingston, the person that just put in so much work to get that in New Jersey, his hometown, as Lewis was saying. Like that's dope. Like, that's dope to see for Eddie Kingston.
Mm-hmm, yeah, no, definitely agree with the both of you. Yo, Eddie Kingston is so authentic. Like I know you guys haven't really been watching Collision, but every episode before Collision, they always do like these little interviews before the show starts.
I watched
every single time. Eddie Kingston is always like, "Yeah, I'm only doing this because they're making me do it," and all this other stuff.
Giancarlo, come here.
It seems so real. Like I could believe that Eddie Kingston really doesn't want to do these fucking interviews, and he's only doing them because they're making him do it. Like I can actually believe that because he's so authentic as a character. And but even before this match, the little promo that him and Moxley had, anytime those two are in the ring and have promo duels, you could tell that they're literally just spitting from the heart. Like like there's no planning with that. They just express how they're feeling, and it comes off genuine. And very like Lewis said, very happy for Eddie Kingston. He's another guy with all the injuries and such that AEW's been dealing with. That's kind of like stepped up and kind of grabbed the brass ring as they would say. So definitely looking forward to big things from him. He's the
Swerve,
champion. Yep. Champion of Ring of Honor. He has a New Japan title, now Continental Championship. As far as the hierarchy of the titles go, I still don't know how AEW does that, but we'll see that moving forward. But I actually want to go back to the match before this with Adam Copeland and Christian. Lewis. Now the match was good. It was a good match.
It was a good match.
It was a very good match until we got to the finish.
Oh.
Now, Daniel, I don't know if you saw these clips of the fire table spot that they attempted to do.
So I can't believe it went out so fast, and then they started talking about it.
First, they lit the table. First, Christian and Nick Wayne put the fluid on, lit the table, and they were gonna go into the spot. And then I guess they didn't lit it enough because the table completely went out completely. Yep. So much so that they had to improvise. Edge had to knock out Nick Wayne and then grab the lighter fluids himself and then relight the table. Then they light the table, and I guess Edge
is the only one that had experience at the barbecue.
He was trying to put them through real quick, and then the process, the table didn't even break. So,
I thought he missed the table. I was like, dude, you really just missed the table?
No, I think because the table went out, he was going mad fast to try to make sure the table didn't go out.
Yeah, he wanted to make sure he went through the fire.
Make sure he went through the fire, and the table didn't break. It didn't look that good, but
these indestructible tables.
I don't know what AEW's tables are made of. They don't break. They don't break. They need to talk to WWE about that because WWE's tables are flimsy as hell.
So I have a question. For the both of you about this TNT title contract. Now they probably have said this on commentary. Maybe I missed it, but is the contract really set up like Money in the Bank, whereas then you could cash in the contract?
I didn't even hear about it. It was on 0 Hour, right?
Yeah, it was on 0 Hour.
I didn't know that either.
I thought he was just. I thought he just got like a title shot. Like, he could just challenge.
He won the Battle Royal.
Yeah, he won the Battle Royal, won the title shot, but I didn't know that you could cash in the title shot whenever.
He won the Battle Royal.
Yeah,
I think they did mention it because they were talking about, he can have it like whenever he wants, and that's why. But the fact that he just gave it, that was the only thing I didn't like. I'm like, I get it. You're trying to make Christian like,
but that's just playing up the.
No, I know,
yeah.
But it's just like, he's okay. He's beaten Edge already. He's cheated him already a bunch of times leading up to this. I felt like this would have just been it's the end of the year, blah blah blah, and it was just like, come on, you just had this man like.
They got to keep that going though, because with all the injuries.
But what else are they gonna do? What else are they gonna do? They just had a no DQ. Like, they don't have any type of. What's next? Just a cage match.
Edge kind of has something to shoot for. He beat Christian for the title. He held up the title. He was only champion for a little
shortest reign
ever. So now he has a reason to go back.
That's how you do Edge.
Yeah. So the story will always be there. Because eventually, I think what's going to happen is Kill Switch and Nick Wayne and everybody's going to turn on Christian, and then eventually they're going to have to end up tagging again. So I already know that's coming down the pipe.
Random question. I definitely missed it. When did Nick Wayne's mom join them? Did she help screw him in one of the title matches?
Yeah, it was a couple of weeks
that
ago.
Montreal?
Yeah, it was in Montreal on a Dynamite. It was Edge and Christian for the title, and then she got involved. She hit Edge with the title, costing him the match. And then she said it was because the week prior, I think Edge had given Nick Wayne a concerto with her in the ring, and she played that whole good mother role. Saying what type of a mother would I be if I allowed that to happen and didn't do something in return? You know how.
I'm sorry, Christian was talking mad shit to her. That's why I was like, when the hell did you change sides and agree to be on his side? It was just like
when she saw her baby boy get fucked up. That's what did it. Like, see that I believe that. I know some people online were complaining about it, saying, why would she side with him after everything he said? Everything goes out the window when you see your child getting fucked up right in front of you. So
I guess it was just like he said some foul stuff. That's why I was like, oh, that's why your husband's dead and this and that. Like, I was just like, damn. And you're like, all right, now I'm gonna help you. Like, it was just like, But yeah, the whole
as I said, Christian, like, he's the biggest heel because all he says is, your father's dead. I'm your daddy.
Yeah.
That's all it is. Like, he's the.
All right,
that's all it is. That's his heel. That's his stick.
Okay, all right, but the main event. All right, so we want to talk about this right now. The devil reveal.
I will say this. I was very shocked, not in the reveal, but in just shocked that Joe won the title. I really did not expect MJF to lose that.
Clean at that.
Was it clean?
Yeah, it was clean. He choked him out cleanly. Yeah.
At least not the Samoa Joe.
Yes. Yeah.
At least not the Samoa Joe.
Hey, I'm glad that at least, because I feel like we've been talking about this for a while, where just like MJF has kind of been put in this like kind of an invincible position. Like, how many times have we seen him defend the ROH titles alone and win and stuff like that, And I feel like this was just one of those moments where it was just like, hey, you can actually lose. And he did, and they did it. And I was like when the ref was like, and that was the only thing I thought. I was like, and I feel like WWE switches it up sometimes, or even AEW, where they're like, isn't it when they do this and then it drops? I feel like sometimes when people get choked out, they're like, oh, they're out. They don't always do the one, the two.
They don't always do it.
They go back and forth.
Yeah.
They gotta pick and choose when to do it. But even the referee, after MJF dropped his hand the third time, even he was like, hold.
He's out.
He hesitated for a second, like, hold on, he was supposed to do that? Okay, all right, ring the bell. But Obviously, I think they just did that. That's to
Oh, that's the cue. All right, I got you.
Yeah. So Samoa Joe wins the title, and he immediately leaves the ring.
Yep.
So now the world title is not associated with this new storyline now between Adam Cole and MJF. Masked men hit the ring. They surround the ring. Lights go out. Lights come back on. All the masked men are on one side of the ring with Adam Cole. MJF is looking on. They all unmasked. What do we see? We see Rodrick Strong. We see Mike Bennett, Matt Taven, and Wardlow. Which I just want to say, I know a lot of people complained that Adam Cole was the devil, but it was the exact same thing when Cody Rhodes won the Royal Rumble. Sometimes in wrestling, the most obvious thing to do is the best thing to do, because who else was going to be the devil that the fans were going to be satisfied and accept? I mean, couldn't do CM. He's not.
He's not a character.
Should have been the devil.
He's not a character.
That would have been the perfect story. That would have been the perfect.
In what way, shape, or form?
That would have been the perfect story.
In what way, shape, or form?
MJF's contract situation. MJF contract situation should be the reason why he's like, I had to get the title off you. You didn't sign yet. Adam Cole said he will help me.
But he's not a character. He's never been a character. He just makes Adam Cole.
Daniel,
have Adam Cole and those guys do his bidding.
Daniel, there's a video in the chat.
Have Adam Cole and those
Tony
guys
Khan introducing Giannis Antetokounmpo when they were in Milwaukee. Okay, that video right there should tell you right there. There's no fucking way that Tony Khan should ever be the devil or should ever be an on-screen.
Shouldn't be a character whatsoever.
that right there cemented it for me.
Yeah, no. And yeah, like Adam Cole it just makes sense. Now I don't know does this mean he's cleared, which I mean I don't know what the status is with this whole leg thing or whatever. I mean,
Baker, what ruined it was Britt Baker showed that he was out of his boot before the pay-per-view. It was like a day before or so that he was out of his boot. So it's like when I saw him come out with crutches and stuff like that, I'm like, come on now. Like
so you know
they ruined the story in that aspect. Like
I didn't even know that. But you know what's funny? Because I was rewatching. I didn't get to watch it live. So the video I clicked on, no, not even. I was trying not to watch anything on social media, but of course my dumbass went on IG and all I saw was the guys in all black and then someone sitting like this, but all I got to see was long hair. And immediately I didn't think Adam Cole. You know who I thought it was? I thought it was Mustafa Ali. Just because he like the long hair. And I was like, yo, is he really in AEW? And then when it got closer to it, I was like, okay, this makes sense.
That would have been interesting.
I know. But I feel like it would have been random.
Retribution 2.0.
It would have been looked upon like that. Yeah, so maybe that would
literally. But yeah, I think what Brian said, like, it's the most logical thing to do. Like, we all know, you know, they've been doing this whole buddy thing for like well over like half the year now, and we all know how good.
It made sense.
Adam Cole is.
It made sense. But is that effective enough for right now? What AEW needs is that effective enough for Adam Cole to do that?
If he never broke his foot, I'm pretty sure they had like a very, very good idea of how they were gonna reveal this, because all the stuff that they were doing before when Adam Cole was healthy, all those videos, all those packages of them as a tag team doing the double clothesline, doing the kangaroo kick. I mean, that was some entertaining TV for that.
Yeah. Them like Kowloons and everything.
Yeah, it's like being at the Kowloon restaurant. Yeah, all that was good stuff. So you can only imagine if Adam Cole wasn't hurt, what direction the storyline would have taken. But
that's my only thing is like, is he actually healed? Is he actually going to wrestle, or is he just going to kind of be like Rodrick Strong and be in the cast, boot, whatever, you know, the whole time, and then shock reveal like, oh, I'm actually healed.
No, see, that's another thing about this that's gonna suck, yo. Rodrick Strong is not gonna be that guy anymore. Adam, we're not gonna get that.
I was actually really starting to like that character. I don't know why. It's actually funny as hell.
It only works when he says Adam. Anytime he did it with anybody else, like Samoa Joe, Renee, like it wasn't.
I like Renee. He was like,
Adam.
But I will say that was probably the big shocker is that I really didn't think MJF was going to lose that title anytime soon. Maybe this coming year with this whole contract, but I'm seeing too many reports. Oh, people already think he resigned, that he signed a while ago, blah, blah, blah. But then now again that he's removed off the roster. So who knows? Nobody knows at all.
I think he's signed.
I'm pretty sure he's not leaving.
I think he's signed.
People say a lot of things about.
There's no way
AEW about Tony Khan, but I don't think he's dumb enough to. I think he's smart enough
he wouldn't let him.
Who his number one guy is, and he probably took care of that months ago. So yeah. I mean, we don't know. I mean, apparently they removed him from the roster page on their website. I mean, it could be for storyline, could not be. We'll see.
He could also be legitimately hurt too. I mean, look at everything that he had on in the ring, like the strap and this and that. And then what was it? All In, where he was talking about like his hip and everything. Like I'm pretty sure.
I think there was a report that said that like he's taking time off, torn labrum, messed up hip. Maybe some other stuff that we don't even know about because he released an article on the Players Tribune. MJF did. It's a very good read. I suggest you guys read it, talking about how AEW is 5 years old now. He was thanked a bunch of people. Talked about a lot of his storylines, a lot of the rivalries that he's been in, and he talked about anti-Semitism and everything. So it's actually a good read.
I didn't get a chance to read that. I got to check it out.
Yeah, I'll check it out. I'll share the link. Share the link in the chat. I'll definitely check it out. But yeah, MJF, hopefully he can heal up because it did look like he was banged up with the straps and stuff like that. And maybe this is a way to write him off for a little bit, which is weird because isn't Revolution like their big pay-per-view and stuff like that? I
mean, that's going to be the Sting farewell show. That's going to be his last match ever. Mm-hmm. So they're probably going to. I mean, at this point, they're probably just going to build the whole show around him. I mean, think about all the people that should. Now MJF is added to that list. Your top guy is added to that list of injuries now. I mean,
for Sting's last match, they better not do a whole like Darby Allin versus Sting.
Who do they have left? That's a proven draw. But besides Moxley, maybe. I mean, Bryan Danielson's hanging on by a thread. I don't know when he's gonna be down again. I mean, he's wrestling with a whole bunch of injuries.
It's gotta be Darby.
You think so?
It's gotta be Darby.
But what, like, as it's just like, hey, me and you should have a match, like, or pull like a heel turn, like Darby turns on Sting.
I think they can have a match because it's like that's his mentor. Like I've learned from you from all these years, these couple years that we've been together. I want to be the one. Like, let me be the one to like have the last match. Like, I feel it doesn't need to be extra. They don't need to do no extra.
Can Sting really take? Can Sting really take a coffin drop at this point
for his last match?
I mean, he's diving off stages and shit.
Yeah, but
if it's the last,
he's diving off stages.
If it's the last time, no.
I mean, yeah, that probably does make
they got to do something nice for Sting, man.
Yeah, they do.
Yeah. But yeah,
it's like that's his last match.
Yep. But good old AEW, man. And I know we bash on them a lot, but we do want them to succeed.
I'm a fan of AEW. I'm not gonna sit here and say I watch it consistently. I try and keep up with it. Like, I'm definitely a big MJF fan, big Swerve fan. Still want Keith Lee to do something, but now that like Joe is like, I'm happy that Joe finally has a world title. I think he definitely deserves it. And he mentioned something in his media scrum, which I thought was really interesting because they were asking him, they're like, when you were, your last championship was in like NXT, and then to go, there was that period where you were doing commentary and this and that, and then now to be you kind of weren't in like your best whatever, and then he was like, to be here now and have a championship, like he's like, I think there's a lot of misconception about that time. He's like, because I was actually taking time off and healing myself, which that's why it makes more sense, because I remember hearing all the he had like the thumb thing, his ankle, a whole bunch of that while he was on commentary. And then, he had that match where we were like, yo, Joe is looking out of shape. that match in NXT where he had the title. I forget. I think against
Killian Cross.
Yeah. And we were like, yo, Joe might need to. And I think that's what they were asking. It was like, yo, you were like close to retiring. And then look what you're on now. He was like, no, I finally took time to like let my body heal, like actually listen to doctors.
Trying to get healthy.
Yeah. And he was like, and I think that's the misconception a lot of people had about that time. And then to like when he got released and everything, it was just like, no, I was actually healing up. And to see where he is now, where he looks like he's, at 100% and, wrestling consistently and putting on his great matches. That's why I was like, it's nice to see him getting his just due,
Mm-hmm. Definitely.
Yeah.
Because I've always thought
a lot of people on the card getting their due.
Yeah, I always thought Joe was like a great. I always wanted him to win a title in WWE so badly.
Oh,
at least one time.
At least once. He's a guy.
I remember when he fought Brock Lesnar.
I was hoping.
And then he fought AJ Styles.
That should have been a trilogy.
Wendy.
Him and Brock, that should have been a damn trilogy.
That's like one of those
should have been.
Joe, Brock, and then Keith Lee and Brock. I feel like that could have been money right there.
Yeah.
Keith Lee wasted the Bearcat.
Bearcat, don't
wasted.
Don't ever say that again.
Don't remind me.
It's funny. But during that time, I was begging him to ask for his release from WWE to go to AEW because I figured that they would use him better. Now I'm begging him to go back to WWE now because Triple H will actually take care of him.
Yep. Let him be with his wife.
It might be too late. It might be too late. Or maybe that was his release. He wasn't medically cleared. He was released. Maybe that's what it is.
Another Rumble appearance.
But yeah, AEW World End.
WWE don't have that many spots.
Could be.
They're deep. Like, damn.
There's only 30 spots. They got to make it 40 now. Extended to the 40.
You got to get the people who actually wrestled, who actually was signed throughout the entire year to get them that sign.
No,
I know.
To get a spot.
They gotta get this much. They've been working hard all year.
Bullshit. But let's move on to SmackDown, a preview of SmackDown's Revolution.